KDIC, the way I got to know about it was, first of all, of the banks that failed in the same situation as us. When that new outfit came, there was a ray of hope.
KDIC to me now today is I will tell somebody else. I will tell them, you can go there and you're not going to have a problem.
So for other depositors in failed institutions, I can attest, because I've that experience with KDIC, that the deposits will never disappear.
Unlike in the past, things are a little clearer now. Even without media reporting, without any adverts in the papers or elsewhere, I will straight away know where to head.
Trust. It lies at the heart of every financial transaction. A fundamental basis of our business is the belief that your hard-earned savings are safe and secure. This forms the cornerstone of our existence and sustainability. Because this is what forms our solid legacy. The Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation, KDIC, protects you, the depositor, against the loss of your finances, be it in savings or bank balance, in the unlikely event of failure of your bank. As such, KDIC is mandated to provide a deposit insurance scheme for customers of member institutions' resolution of problem banks, provide incentives for sound risk management, and generally promote financial stability in the country. In our quest to safeguard the lives of those we serve, the corporation has continued to undertake payments to depositors of failed institutions in line with its resolution mandate, having navigated initial challenges as attested to by depositors of failed institutions currently in liquidation.
Resolution over the past period has had mixed opportunities, and one of them is that we've had successes in the transfer and exclusion of some of the resolution methods that we've used, where we've had instances where we've been able to pay up to 90% of the depositors their monies. But alongside that, we've had challenges in resolution of some of the institutions, especially those that failed almost 30 years ago, because of lack of information on data on the debtors and the time it has taken, the litigations that we've had, long strenuous court matters that have hindered our effective resolution. Those are the challenges that we've had in making sure that our depositors ultimately get their money.
So if you are to summarize, our mandate is to receive, liquidate, and wind up any member institution that we have been appointed either as a receiver or a liquidator by Central Bank of Kenya in accordance with the KDI Act, Cap 487C. During receivership, what you normally do is that you scale down the operations of the bank, and the view is to try and analyze what is it that this bank is suffering from, so that that problem can be addressed and ensure that the depositors continue accessing their money without any disruptions. If a bank has a problem and people start running to the bank to collect their money, it would cause what we call a run on the bank. And the bank may not have all the money, because when a bank corrects deposits, it gives it out as loans, and people pay as scheduled. So if now everyone comes today and wants their money, the bank will not have all the money at once. So when we are in the receivership, we declare that moratorium to protect that bank from such a run.
Financial crises have left economies in ruins and sent individuals and families into economic devastation due to the loss of their life savings. Yet, it strikes when least expected, making it a painful sting that very few recover from.
I was a deposit at Kenya Finance Bank. The initial relationship was a very good relationship, a relationship of trust. I had managers from Kenya Finance Trust visiting us to market their products, and they looked very attractive at the time. But little do we know that there was problems brewing. One, I thought the managers I knew would have given me a hint as to what was going on, which was not the case. Then for a long time, things went quiet. Nobody spoke to us. Nobody told us what was going on. And you can imagine, it's like a lifetime saving. I withdrew my savings from wherever they were and put the savings here because at the time they were giving a very attractive rate of return. That was all gone. We were very devastated. And for a long time, no information at all. So it was like I gave up. I gave up hope of recovering anything at all.
Due to fear, I moved the little money I had with the National Bank to Daima Bank, hoping things will be okay, but maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, Daima Bank was under receivership.
The ultimate goal of receivership, that first stage, is to identify the problem, recommend a solution, and implement that solution. So at this point, we are just undertaking this role as agent of central bank with a view to ensure that a problem has been identified where the bank was having a challenge, a solution has been suggested, and that solution has been implemented.
KDSC, the way I got to know about it was, first of all, of the banks that fail in the same situation as us, the Trust Bank took initiative to bring together the members, the depositors who had lost their money. So they held meetings, and it was of interest to me what was going on in those circles. In the course of finding out what Kenya Trust Bank was doing, we heard they sent a delegation to Central Bank. And that delegation was met by the Kenya Deposit Finance. And that's how I got to hear about that Kenya Deposit Finance assisting the Kenya Trust Bank. So I began to have some little hope that kumbe kuna there is something that could also assist me or assist us who are in Kenya Finance Bank.
Some of our depositors or directors or I don't know, interested parties used to promise us that we are looking for partner. Those interested parties used to even fly to America. And we have had several meetings at the Grand Regency. We had several meetings at Hilton Hotel for depositors who had that money in Daima Bank. But later it was impossible to get a partner.
So what do you do at that point? You'll make recommendations to Central Bank that this bank now should move from that first stage of receivership where you had placed it like in ICU to try and babysit it, to try and nurse it and revive it. And now because of the condition it is in, let's liquidate it. So what is liquidation? Liquidation is when now you realize the bank cannot be salvaged. So what happens during liquidation? Several things happen. The first thing is that the banking license is withdrawn. So when the bank is put in liquidation, it means it can never go back to the normal banking business. So the banking license is withdrawn. And when the banking license is withdrawn, KDIC is also now not appointed as a receiver, but appointed as a liquidator.
So we fill the forms for reclaiming our money, and we have been getting some dividends And those who had deposited up to 100,000 got their money.
It is at this stage that now the depositors get their first payment, because when the banking license is withdrawn, then it means now we have to ask ourselves, how do we pay the depositors? We start by paying the depositors what we call the protected amounts. Protected amounts is the guaranteed payment to any depositor who had money in a corrupt bank, should it be crossed or in a failed bank. And we pay a maximum of 500,000 per depositor.
I'm a depositor by the virtue that I'm the son to Saulin Ochieng Ochieng, who had deposited money in Kenya Finance Bank that went under in 1996. From the beginning, it was a little bit tough because of the amount of money that my mom had put, and the insurance was only given 100,000 out of the 600 to 700,000 that she had put.
KDIC provides deposit insurance coverage of up to 500,000 shillings per depositor of a member institution. The insurance covers all types of deposit accounts. In line with its resolution mandate, KDIC has so far undertaken payouts of up to 90 billion shillings across 19 institutions in liquidation. For that reason, the corporation's CEO Helen Chepkwony asserts that KDIC is well on course to safeguarding dreams.
Our current coverage is 500,000, and this we reviewed in 2020 up from 100,000. Have in mind that that 100,000 had been there since 1989. We had coverage of 100,000 up to 2020. So with that review of 2020, our law says that we need to be reviewing on a frequent basis, and therefore currently we are in the process of doing that review. It should be noted that when we do a review, it doesn't mean that actually that we'll have to increase coverage, because the review determines whether what we are currently covering is optimal or not, and therefore even during the process of review it can either remain the same or we can actually increase it upwards.
KDIC is committed to fostering a culture of transparency at all levels. We understand that trust is the cornerstone of our relationship with stakeholders. As such, we spare no effort in upholding this through clear and structured communication, accountability, and innovation.
We are adopting the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, where we are encouraging our debtors to come to us and make proposals on how they intend to make their payments. In this, we found it a bit much easier because both of us are able to resolve that matter and therefore get payments to get to the depositors in a faster way. The other one is engaging the banks and our stakeholders in areas of ensuring that, for instance, for the banks, the completeness of the data that they submit to us, so that even in the unlikely event of a failure, then we are able to actually know the depositor and their account details and all the required documentation that will facilitate on their payments. The fifth one is on issues of the stakeholders, also the judiciary, the Ministry of Lands, and all other stakeholders that we work with closely to facilitate in this process of resolution.
We are transparent and we are accountable. If a depositor wants to know the status of affairs for their institution, every 6 months we file a return with the registrar of a company where we account for every cent that we have collected and how we have used it and how much is remaining that will declare dividends to these depositors.
KDIC prides itself on working with depositors, giving priority to their financial concerns as well as going an extra mile to assist those who may have been caught up in the lapse of time. Case in point is Rubina Dar, whose duration for filing a complaint had lapsed. We walked the talk.
My mother had an account with Chase Bank, and she was very happy with Chase Bank. Then things went south. I mean, my sister was managing all this, and she was told about these forms. She couldn't sign those forms. Those forms had to be signed by my mum. Mum couldn't actually, her signature kept changing. It's not like she was there and then she wasn't there. You know, it happens. So she'd sign and then it would be, they'd say the signature is not correct. So my sister and I decided, listen, stuff this, leave it alone. We said, you know, it will be inshallah khair. If it's not okay, it was not meant to be. This is how we were looking at it. Then when mum passed away, my sister said, okay, so what do I put on this list when we are going to court? You know, and I told her what, you know, you've got to put mum's accounts because now you want to access it. So she put all that in, but we didn't have that hope. I'm not going to lie. We didn't have that hope that it was going to work. So we got the shock of our life when we got this young man who said, no, you know, it's possible because she was not well. And we know that she was not well. Everybody knew that she was not okay and she was not operating her account. So it was very helpful.
We are very flexible when it comes to the payments. Our payments are time-bound. For example, when we say protected amounts, depositors should lodge their claims within a period of 2 years. However, we arrived that some of the depositors may not be able to do that for several reasons and for several charges. So when they come and want to be paid outside the 2 years, and there is a justifiable reason, the Act allows us to accommodate them. We have made it very, very flexible and very friendly for people to lodge their claims. In the earlier years, you had to literally come to KDIC with a physical document to lodge. Nowadays, you don't need to do that. You can do it virtually. So you go to our website, you download the form, you fill, you upload, it gets to us with all the details, and then we pay you.
Behind every successful bank resolution process lies the thought, dedication, skill, and expertise vested in the KDIC staff. Through planning and decisive action coupled with foresight, failed financial institutions are promptly resolved. This is done professionally and humanely while ensuring the protection of the depositor's interests.
KDIC was set up actually to protect those depositors, and how fast we are measured by how fast we are able to pay our depositors back. And it is of concern to us because we've had so many challenges that have caused this delay, and some of them are because of the low public awareness about the existence of deposit insurer. So when our depositors hear that their bank has failed, they give up and they never come to claim their money. Well, that's one of the reasons. The other one is the long litigations that take place. So once some debtors know that the bank has failed, they refuse to pay and they go to court to stop us from realizing the securities. As a result, we take so long in getting those, realizing the monies that we can be able to pay the depositors. The same thing is because of that lack of awareness, even when we declared to pay depositors, like currently we are paying post-bank credit in liquidation, there are very few people who come up to come and claim for their money because they, as I said, they are not aware. So they gave up immediately when the bank failed. So when we put in the newspapers or announce that we are paying, it's like they don't relate.
There was something I read in the papers. I read an advert in the paper asking those depositors who had interest in the Kenya Finance Bank to visit the premises of the corporation and file their particulars, file their claims. It was just by chance I read that advert, by chance. So when I got that advert and there was a deadline to it, I quickly grabbed the opportunity. I visited them at the former marshal's house. So I sat at the reception. After some time, a gentleman came to attend to me.
And he was so helpful. First, he apologized for being late. That never happens in a government institution. He apologized, he even gave us a reason why he was late. And I must say his name is Albert. I can't remember his surname. But that young man was so good. He said, no, don't worry, please sit. He had started explaining to us that he had a human front to him. He suddenly, I was thinking, he's not even asking us about, oh, you're out of time, and oh, you've done this and you haven't done that. That's the first thing a government institution does. Tells you what you've not done, not what they can do for you.
We take so much of our time to try and tell the customers that we have this institution still with us, and KDIC still pursues and makes those payments.
Okay, after liquidation, where they really helped us is also to assure us that our deposits were not lost, and also in terms of, they tried to put a few ads in the paper telling us, okay, this is what's happening. We are trying to liquidate, we're trying to do this and that. Because, okay, then obviously the media, social media and the internet was not so prominent. So based on that, we were glad and we were assured that the money just didn't disappear. So it was a comfort for my mom also, because she knew she still had money somewhere that one day she'd be able to use, but she passed away before that. But you see, we're still gaining from that, because us as the trustees of the estate, we get to be paid by KDIC. So for us, that's a positive.
When that new outfit came, there was a ray of hope because it outlined its objectives and really what they intended to do. It looked more dynamic.
KDIC to me now today is, I will tell somebody else, I will tell them, you can go there and you're not going to have a problem, because this is how they treat you.
So for other depositors in failed institutions, I can attest, because I've that experience with KDIC, that the deposits will never disappear. So even if the bank goes down, they are rest assured that that money is there, and they'll be able to recover it in good time. And now that they've improved the money that you get if a bank goes down from 100,000 to 500,000. It covers most of the depositors in the bank. So you're more assured that you're never going to lose funds so long as KDIC is there.
I would say, unlike in the past, things are a little clearer now. In the past, people who found themselves in that situation, you didn't know where to go. You didn't know where to start. You just thought it's all lost. But today, anybody in that situation, even without media reporting, without any adverts in the papers or elsewhere, I will straight away know where to head.
From crisis to confidence, the journey to recovery is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering commitment of KDIC to safeguard the country's financial stability. After all, we believe in second chances, the safety of your savings and your quest for personal success. Your desire for financial freedom through your hard work and saving is noted and appreciated. It is like sailing across the ocean. As you fight on hot days and cold nights, our hands are raw on the deck, protecting gains of your sweat. While today is right, tomorrow could be wrong. Hence our stretched hand to walk you out of the storm. Kenya Deposit Insurance Corporation. Safer, stronger, together.